0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarok's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarok's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarok's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarox.co.uk. Anybody who has sat in a rally car, looked in a rally car, or given any passing attention to a rally car will automatically have seen that the driver has one piece of equipment, mainly the steering wheel. The co-driver has far more equipment. And one of the things he has, and if you look in the car at the passenger side, you will invariably see one or two black boxes mounted on the dashboard with bright red numbers on them. This is the rally timing equipment. Now, those out there who know me will know I tried co-driving and made such a hash of it. Timing equipment still remains, shall we say, a mystical item to me. But today I'm sat with Victoria Coward, who is the sales manager for one of the most famous timing equipment companies in the world, Brantz. Victoria, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
What is the history of Brantz? Because we were talking before we went on air, there used to be another famous brand which more or less went out of existence, and Brantz have very, very capably filled the gap. But where did it all start for Brantz?
It started up in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
A Yorkshireman set up the company in...
Nothing wrong with that, this is a Yorkshire station.
Around 1980, I
Yeah.
think he set the company up. And yeah, started manufacturing the iconic brand as it is today.
Yeah.
He carried that on and made it a very successful brand and came to retire. I think he retired in about 2010, which is when we bought the company off him. He wrote and offered to sell us the company, and we
Yeah.
bought it. And carried on his good work.
And carried on his good work. So where was he? It was originally based in Yorkshire, then I conclude.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now it's moved to Macclesfield.
Yeah. Brought it all down here.
Brought it all down here. So, I mean, how did you come to acquire Brantz? I mean, you said he rang up and do you want to buy this? Because it wasn't a business your company was involved in, was it?
No, we've been making printed circuit boards again since 1980. Well, not me personally, since
Yeah.
1980. But this company, Right Track Limited, had been manufacturing printed circuit boards for a variety of people and companies like Jodrell Bank, people that make model railways. We've made printed circuit boards for everybody. And this letter just arrived on our doorstep one day that was selling Brantz. And
Typical blunt Yorkshireman, do you want to buy this?
Do you want to buy this? Yeah, that's it. My stepfather read the letter, and he'd always had an interest in classic cars and rallying over the years. He'd owned a lot of classic cars, from his very first car, the 1958 MGA, and he's owned a couple of Audi Quattros, the early 1980 ones.
Yeah.
So it piqued his interest, and he was like, "Oh, this could be interesting. I've heard of Brantz."
Yeah.
So he went up to take a look and thought, yeah, we can fit this in with what we do. So we've incorporated it into our manufacturing company and went from there, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were saying like your stepfather had classic cars. You would have grown up with these cars around you then, to a degree.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was always being taken to school in a different classic car every day, just to see. Yeah, Yes, he did. I think there's still an MGB V8 outside in the car park.
Yeah.
He's still got his very first MGA.
Yeah.
It's in the garage at home. So yes, we've always got one. My very first car was an MGB.
Yeah.
I was formerly my mum's, but they resprayed it for my birthday and gave it me. So I think I mentioned before that it made me a very cool kid in school.
Yeah.
Driving to school in that.
So the interesting cars was there and the interesting competition was there, or was it just the cars first and then the competition?
It was just the cars. I've just grown up around it, and and then once we kind of took on the Brantz name, we kind of started looking into the competition.
Yeah. So do you rally? I mean, it's got to be the question. Somebody who sells rallying equipment, do you actually compete yourself?
Not seriously. I like to dabble, and if I had more time and more money, I would definitely do more of it. I've had a couple of goes in different events and had a really good time. Learned some valuable lessons, like always tie your hair back, because as soon as you slam the brakes on, you can't see anything because all your hair is in your face.
Yeah. So what do you compete in when you do compete?
We have, because I had a fondness for MGBs, because that was my very first car.
Yeah.
We have an MGB that's kitted out with all the Brantz equipment.
Yeah.
Ready and waiting for me to have enough time and enough money to go and.
Because you're involved. Because I mean, I always see you like at Race Retro. You're invariably on the Hero stand, the Historic Endurance Rally Organisation. So, I mean, they are the perfect, shall we say, organisation for Brantz to be involved with, aren't they?
They are, and the key thing that they do is training days.
Yes.
Which are really good. So because they're bringing new people in, so our job is to make it look less daunting for the navigator, because it's often newbies, and they arrive and they're like, oh, there's so much going on, I don't know what to do, but we're there to show our equipment and how easy it is to use, and don't panic. So that making it easy for them so they have a good experience.
I can remember when I tried co-driving, to be told and shouted at by the driver. That's why I ended up driving again back in the early 2000s. Don't touch that, you shouldn't have pressed that, what are you doing? And I said, well, I think you better sit this side, I'll stick to the bit I know, the steering wheel. I mean, at times they can look a bit daunting, can't they?
They can. I think it's the massive buttons, and they've got so many instructions in front of them. But
I was once handed the book to a Brantz. There you are. It was like War and Peace heading over. You think, am I meant to read all this?
Oh no, you don't need it. It's honestly toggle switches
like an
up and
Airfix
down.
model instruction pamphlet. The first thing you do with that is throw it away.
Yeah, you don't need it. It's so simple. It's so simple to work. So simple to calibrate. It's amazing, But
besides these, as a rule, they tend to be like a black crackle finish box with the red LEDs on them. How exactly do they work? And what do they tell you? Because they'll tell you more than one thing, won't they?
They will. Predominantly, they will just tell you your distance, your total distance that you're travelling, and the intermediate distance between sections that you need to travel.
So it's a cumulative total as such, and then how far you've travelled, because on navigation rallies or all rallies you know to a degree how far turn left and how far to go before you turn right, so that's like the little intermediate.
Yeah, so particularly on tulip type instructions, that will always give you your cumulative distance and then distance to the next junction, at which point you're shouting at the driver going, we're going to be turning right any second, turning right. And then the driver's like, which direction are we going? Right. That sort of thing. So it gives you those instructions, all fed from a sensor. So it's all gathering this information from any type of sensor mounted on your vehicles.
So how does it mount? Because I always thought that they mounted to either a wheel or the gearbox or the speedo. I've heard various stories about how these things couple to the car.
There's a variety of different ways, and it really depends on your personal preference of fitting, as well as the type of car. So you can fit it on a wheel, so it picks up off the bolts on a brake disc, say.
Oh.
So as the wheel turns, it picks up the rotations. You can fit it on the speedo cable. So as your speedo cable turns, there's a little gripper in there, and it sends.
But it's not affected by going faster, because I mean the one thing about a speedo is it goes up and down as you go faster and slower.
It does. Sometimes it tends to wobble up. No, it calculates it all, and it knows exactly the distance. So when you calibrate it at the beginning of any event, you will tell the trip meter that the number of revolutions on your speedo correlates to a set distance. So all it does is count like the revolutions of that cable, regardless of how fast or how slow you're going.
Right.
So it knows exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
The wheel sensor is great if you do a lot of wheel spinning, because if you fit it to a non-driven wheel, drivers tend to like wheel spinning, funnily enough. I don't know why.
Yeah, rally drivers.
Yeah.
So I have heard the tale that if it's fit to the wrong wheel, you've actually technically gone nowhere, but the trip meters have counted. You've done about a quarter of a mile with all the wheel spin.
Definitely heavy right foot when that happens. But yeah, so we recommend the non-driven wheel so you don't pick up any extra wheel spin. But so that's good. Also, you mentioned the gearbox. Yep, you can screw them into the gearbox with the speedo cable on the other side.
Yeah.
We always recommend a mechanical sensor. They're the best sensors to fit for accuracy. We do GPS sensors as well, which are brilliant for plug and go. If you just want to sample a bit of rallying, you don't want to install it all into your car.
Yeah.
Just, take a plug and go kit and stick it in your windscreen.
Well, I think I admitted before we went on air, and I saw your eyes roll. You can actually get something a little bit similar for the complete imbecile. It's an app on your phone, and to a degree it does work, but if you need to get technical, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah, the GPS sensors that we supply are extremely accurate, knowing exactly the distance. If you've ever tried to look at the GPS location on your phone, sometimes it thinks you're in the middle of a field, sometimes it thinks you're on the road. It's never quite sure, whereas these ones...
When I came here this morning with the GPS, he said, "You're here." I thought, "I'm not."
Yes, that can be the problem. So, we have...
But the beauty of those is you don't need to actually physically attach them. Well, you attach them to the car, the modern ones, by like suckers and things like that.
Yeah.
The proper ones, the big Brantz, actually are screwed to the car, aren't they?
They are.
You can't really just have them. You can't really handle these things.
No, they're designed so that they're a permanent fix for rally cars that are set up as rally cars.
Yeah.
We do a variety of mounting options. If you don't want to permanently fix it, you don't have to. If you want to be able to remove it, unplug it, remove it at Parc Ferme, and, not leave it in overnight.
I suppose, it's a terrible thing to say, but I suppose they are something that people will look to steal, aren't they? Because at night time, when it's dark, they're all lit up. You can see these things.
I know, yeah.
They advertise their presence.
Some people do like to steal everything, but they'd have to find the right audience to sell them to. You're not going to get very far down your high street, but so they're removable, so you can take them away for storage. And if you put your car in storage over winter, you can just take them out.
So the power, where do they draw their power from?
It's a 12-volt power supply.
Yeah.
So just take the power from the battery.
So it comes from the car's battery?
Just the car's own battery.
Yeah. How many types of Brantz are there? Because you'll see the word Brantz on these little black boxes, but they don't all look alike. There's quite a few different ones, and all the different ones, what's the difference and why is the difference?
So there's three main categories of Brantz trip meters. The first one is the Brantz Retro Trip, which is the properly historic type of trip meter. That's based on the old Halder system, which are mechanical counters clicking along, and you can hear the clicks. Some people say that the clicking drives them insane, but other people say they can really regulate their speed because they can hear that clicking and they know what speed they're going, like hearing it in their head.
I'd never thought of that. Nobody's ever said that before. You can, clicking.
If you tune into it, if the clicking gets faster,
you're going too fast.
You're going too fast. You're probably not maintaining your average speed.
Because some of the very early ones weren't LEDs, were they? They were like, it's like what you might call the combination lock on a briefcase or a suitcase, something like that. Yeah,
so they're the retro trip systems with the counters that kind of look like old gas meter.
Yeah.
Those types of rotating numbers. And they're really popular in the much older cars.
Yeah.
The pre-war cars, they're particularly popular, or for events that have very strict regulations where you're only allowed mechanical type of trip meters where you can't fiddle with the numbers, you can't nudge it forwards or nudge it back. If you've gone wrong, that's it. You just have to work with it and panic your navigator some more. So that kind of range, we do a little one and a bigger one.
Yeah.
And that's for people that really want stuff to look period
right
in their car. Yeah.
But they're the same thing initially. But the one's just small, one's just big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you mentioned that. I once did one event, and I was told by my co-driver before we set off, the watch you wear, yes, is it quartz powered? No, it's mechanical. You're all right. Because the organiser was so strict. No member of the crew could actually wear a quartz watch. You could wear a mechanical watch,
Really?
but you couldn't wear a quartz watch. That's how strict they were, because back when that event ran as a international event, quartz watches and such like that weren't in existence.
Wow.
So you had to wear mechanical watches.
Yeah. We sell a lot of these retrofit versions into Europe.
Yeah.
It's quite unusual in Europe. They seem to have quite free-for-all events where you're allowed all sorts of equipment. People have laptops in their cars to help them. But also they do the much stricter events where you're really only allowed like mechanical, non-fiddle-proof trip meters.
So moving on within the range, I conclude you'll produce like the digital ones as such will be cars like 70s and 80s Group B cars, because they used to carry plethora of this equipment. You looked in the co-driver's seat, like look at the side of the Quattro that Fabrizia Pons sat in when she was with Michel Mouton, and it was just a bank of electronics.
Yeah, so that would be our international range, and that is probably our most iconic range.
Yeah,
that is when you look in a car in the cockpit and you see the red glow.
Yeah,
that you know is a Brantz trip meter.
Yeah,
coming out of there, and that is exactly for that era of cars. That's the most famous.
What does it all do?
It's basically still just the trip meter. It's still telling them the total distance, the intermediate distance. And we have the stopwatches that go with it to help people calculate their average speed.
Oh, these are digital stopwatches.
These are digital stopwatches that go alongside the trip meters.
Yeah.
Because obviously at any set distance, you need to be there at a set time.
Yeah.
To help you get your average speed. So the stopwatches that we manufacture, fit perfectly alongside. They've got the matching digits, so it looks like a display that is suited for that era.
Most of your customers, will they fit their own, or do Brantz fit them for them, or do you supply to companies who know how to fit them? Because there will be an art and a skill to fitting a Brantz trip meter, rally meter. There
is, but we generally say that if you know your car and if you're mechanically minded, you can fit them. Then they're not that hard to fit. We tend not to fit them, because most people have a preferred garage, or they like to look after their cars themselves. You don't want to trust somebody with your classic car, don't you?
Yeah.
So they have a preferred garage, so we will supply a lot to garages, and they will fit them. It's simply installing the sensor, getting a power supply, putting the leads in the right place, and mounting it where you want it. So everybody has a very specific place that they want it. They want it just right for their rallying experience.
Well, I was going to say, I conclude some cars you'll have to talk to the owner to a degree, because what they want to fit may not fit the car they want to fit it in, because you look at certain cars and the dashboard may not be the right size for what they want to install. So I conclude you have to discuss with them, or can you custom make them if they want them?
We tend to discuss with them what they want, and I love that part of the job. I love the fact that we're a company that's there and you're able to phone up and talk to us and get it exactly what you want. Because we manufacture here in this building in Macclesfield, we can custom make stuff. So if people want buttons in a different place or cables in a different place, we can do that if they want. That's not an issue, and it's great to talk to the customer, because it's so much better that they get something exactly how they want it.
And the other thing is, you were saying you do, courtesy of Hero, you give lessons to people on how these things work, don't you?
We do, yes. In a variety of ways.
As I said, when I used to sit in front of them, and I invariably used to press something I shouldn't have pressed, to be told, you zeroed that off, why have you done that? We don't know how far we've gone. I don't know, you just said press that. You give lessons, and are they as complicated to use as they may at first look, or is that just the big international stuff?
No, they're really not complicated, and that is mainly the point of the lesson. Because they look at them and they're like, oh, I don't know, there's buttons. But you show them and, you know...
what do all the buttons do?
Very simple things. So the toggle switches, you can freeze the total distance. So you're mid-rally and you need to go to get some petrol, or you need the toilet. So you pull in, freeze the distance. So you can carry on the event and unfreeze it when you go back on track, so you've not lost any distance at all.
Right.
So that's a really simple thing to just be able to do, to freeze it.
Yeah.
It's got a count up, count down button, which is probably the most crucial button on the whole thing, because when you shoot past your slot and you're like, oh no, I think maybe we should have gone right back there.
Because on the big rallies, even 100 yards out is a serious amount of distance out.
It is, yeah. Especially when the tulips are so accurate. You know, there's two right turns and they're 0.01 of a distance apart, and you've got to be spot on. So that toggle switch on the front, everything's panicking. You flick the toggle switch, turn around, come back. It will get rid of that extra distance as you.
All right, so it'll count itself backwards for you.
So it'll count itself backwards until you get to the right slot. Flick it back up, and away you go, and you're back on track. Sometimes distances do drift out a little bit. Drivers like to cut corners. I don't know why that is, but I tend to do that. Like to take the racing line when the people that set out the course didn't take the racing line. So there's a little stepper knob on it. So if you get to a T-junction, that's a perfect spot, and you notice your total distance is a little bit out, you can just twist the little stepper knob and tweak the distance and bring it back in line.
All right.
So that you set off again and everything is spot on, and it's really easily accessible, glorious tactile switches. There's something very satisfying about physical switches these days rather than touch screens. It just it gives you something to feel like you've actually...
because that is one thing. When you do the average car club navigation rally is approximately 150 to 175 miles in distance. You can tell when you're looking at the road book how accurate, when the distance is, how accurate the guy who plotted the route's speedo was. Or you can tell if more than one vehicle was used, because they tend not to use things like Brantz. They will use the trip meter in the car. And when you're working on precision distance, it suddenly comes as a surprise or a revelation that trip meters in cars, even though they're digital these days, are not 100% accurate.
No, they're not, especially with modern cars. The sensors that they use in modern cars often don't pick up at a very slow speed. So if you crawl along, you'll notice that your speedo will just stay on 0.
All right.
So it's not actually counting any distance at all. So it's a bit deceiving in modern cars. The sensors aren't quite as accurate.
So do you find a lot of rally organisers will use a car with a Brantz fitted to do this, to make sure?
Yes, they will. They will generally always have some of our equipment fitted. Either the Brantz International range or the other range that we do, which is the Laser 3 range. That's generally used more for stage rallying because it has lots more functions in it. It has a fuel gauge and acceleration measurements, 0 to 30 acceleration and all that. But it has it just has increased accuracy, and it's a little bit smaller in size. So
why would somebody want to know their acceleration?
I don't know.
I tend to know if I'm accelerating hard or soft by the sheer feel of the car.
Yeah, that's what I would go with. I'd like this feels like I'm accelerating enough. Oh no, actually, more. I want to go faster. Now,
since these are so popular, and we were saying like classic rallying, historic rallying and everything else, Brantz has become virtually the thing. Which of the famous names use them? Do you know anybody who uses them who's well known?
We've been fortunate enough to fit out lots of cars for lots of very important events. We fitted out the whole of the Jaguar Heritage Racing team. Which were some incredibly impressive cars for the Mealy Mealy. And they've kept them in the vehicles.
All right.
So they always get in celebrities to come and drive their cars. So like Kate Moss and Jay Leno, a variety of different people. I wrote some people down like Martin Brundle, Bruno Senna, Jodie Kidd, James Martin, the chef.
Oh, yeah.
So they've all driven.
Well, at least we can say his Trip worked, his Maserati did.
Yeah, very true, yeah. Things that broke down. So a lot of famous people on that part have driven them. A bit closer to home, the Bangers and Cash, the Matthewsons.
Yeah.
I think it's Dave.
Yeah.
He has a Brantz trip meter in his car, and Jack has one.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many people. We don't always know who they end up with, but they are the trip meter of choice.
Now there is. I won't mention the name. You can if you want, but there is a trip meter out there that doesn't require cables. It does it all via satellite. And the beauty of that is there's no wires apart from the what you might call the aerial to the box. That's the only wire. Do you produce anything similar to that? And how accurate are that type of trip meter? Yes,
we do a GPS bundle.
Yeah.
So that is really good for people that want to just try out rallying.
Yeah.
So they want to go on a scenic tour or something like that.
Yeah.
And just have a go. It means you don't have to mechanically fit anything into your vehicle. You just mount it on the windscreen, put the sensor in the dash, and away you go. It's brilliantly easy.
Yeah.
The GPS systems that we use are much more accurate than, say, your mobile phone.
Yeah.
So they are very good, but they will be subject to the issues that the other ones have. If you go through a tunnel, it would have to estimate how far you've gone. So,
because I know I was saying one system I use, and I mentioned again the mobile phone app. There's certain parts of the world, like the Lake District and parts of the Yorkshire Dales, where you lose signal to your phone, which means you suddenly lose your trip meter.
Yeah, so the GPS system, it's not just GPS system, it's a GLONASS system, so like the Russian system, the Chinese system. So there's an awful lot of satellites that it picks up on.
Yeah.
So
it's not looking for a mobile phone mast.
No. So you're going to have more luck than you would do with your mobile phone, that's for sure. There will always be some satellites to pick up from. It's just, as the satellites get fewer, then the accuracy decreases, which is where the mechanical sensor comes in. And you will find that most people will take the GPS system just to try out and then move on to mechanical and maybe have the GPS as their backup.
I suppose the beauty of that is if you can put it on the windscreen or dashboard with suckers, you can transfer it from car to car.
You can, yeah. If you've got multiple different vehicles and you just want to have a go in each one, you can just transfer it between them and off you go and have fun quickly and easily, really.
Is there any difference in operating a digital satellite-powered one compared to a full-blown trip meter?
Nope, none at all. Not with our equipment, anyway. There is a standard calibration figure for GPS, so that you can just put that in and go.
So it doesn't do it itself, you've got to set it up, have you?
No, it would come set up like that.
Right.
However, if you wanted, unlike any other GPS system out there that I'm aware of, trip meter wise, you can tune in your GPS calibration. So at the beginning of events, a lot of organisers will provide a measured distance, and you can calibrate your GPS trip meter to that distance.
I know, one of the car clubs I'm a member of, the Ilkley District, good old Yorkshire club, if you're doing any of their events, on your way to the start or the gathering area, you'll be told, look for this lamppost, because a particular lamppost will have a sign on it, and it'll probably say start of measured mile. You drive, you potter along, and eventually you'll find another lamppost that says end of measured mile. And that is a perfect mile distance, so you'll use that. So I conclude you set your trip meter off, you zero it at the start. When you get to the end of the mile, what do you do? Unless it says you've done an exactly mile, can you alter it to and fro? Yeah,
so when you get to that end point, it'll come up with a reading. And if this is the first time you calibrate it, it'll have a 3-digit reading in the screen. Simply transfer that 3-digit reading into the calibration figures, and that's it. Trip meter calibrated, regardless of
it'll
what
work,
sensor
it'll work it out itself.
It'll just work it out from that.
And the good old-fashioned ones I conclude you just you turn a dial to turn it back or turn it forward or advance it. You do something with it so it knows, so you can tell it that no, that's the mile.
The old mechanical ones are actually still calibrated the same way,
right?
Because ours are, because they're electromechanical, because they still work off all the same sensors.
Yeah,
they get an electric feed up to a mechanical counter.
Right.
So there's still the printed circuit board in there works it all out.
Right. So I once got told with some of the very early ones, you just like open the box up and put different counters in them.
Yeah, so those ones you had to have different, you have to have a vast array of cogs to hand in order to...
Like the Enigma machine, really.
Yeah, I know, that's what I think of when people describe it to me. I mean, I'm a little bit young to remember those, but yes, it seemed like a complicated process and you needed a lot of cogs. That's what I get from the stories.
So in many ways then, using a Brantz, it isn't the, shall we say, shrouded in mist world that a lot of people think it is. So when I used to get asked to be co-driver, I used to say, no chance of you getting me anywhere near one of them things, no.
No, not at all. Honestly, just press the red button, go to the next junction, press the red button.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And that's why we love training days. The end of last month we did a training day for the HRCR.
Yeah.
Again, just showing people how simple it was.
Yeah.
And
one question that has to be asked, if you don't mind, what do they cost? Because I mean, this is technical equipment, and it don't come cheap.
No, it's varying cost, depends on how much you want to add on.
Yeah.
So we start with the basic equipment, which is about £250 plus VAT for a trip meter.
Yeah.
But there's lots of add-ons that you don't always need. I mean, the basic stuff, you need a trip meter, a sensor, and a 2 amp inline fuse.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. The trip meter's 250, the sensor's about 40, and a fuse, whatever price of a fuse. So that's it. That's all you really need to get going. But there's lots of add-ons after that, so it does go up. And we try and keep costs down, but we are a UK manufacturing company. We try and support other UK manufacturing companies.
Yeah.
We source as much as we can from the UK and keep people employed here. So it's tricky keeping costs down. I'm not sure the government support UK manufacturing that much, but we try, and that's our aim. We make everything fully repairable and keep things going as long as possible.
Now the interesting thing is you mentioned UK manufacturing. Before we finish, Brantz, how did it get its name?
So the Yorkshireman we spoke of earlier wanted to set up this company, and as far as I'm aware, he was trying to think of names, and during the era when he was setting up, Germany were having a big promotion to make everything as good, as high quality standard as they could. So he thought he's going to come up with a name that just sounds a little bit German to make people think that it's going to be really high quality. And it was, and to be fair, today it is extremely high quality. That's the joy of making something in the UK. You can spec it how you want and ensure the quality and ensure that it's going to last for 30 years. Not many electronic items you buy now are going to last you for 30 years.
German by name, but Yorkshire by origin.
Yes.
Now based in Cheshire, Macclesfield to be precise, Victoria Coward of Brantz Rally Meters. Thanks so much for joining me on The Backseat Driver.
No worries, thank you again.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hodder Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hodder Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddertyres.co.uk.